up, tube? What are we doing today? We're going to test out the new Harbor Freight Spectrum Universal Paint System. This is Harbor Freight's brand new. I literally just got the ad for it 2 days ago on my little Harbor Freight app on my phone. This replaces the 3M PPS 1.0, so the older version of the PPS system, which are the paint cups for your spray gun when you're doing paint and body. This is Harbor Freight's replacement to those. So I went to my store, my local Harbor Freight. They had one box of each refills and the starter kit. So we're going to look at we're going to open that up, take a look at what's in it, compare it to the 3M cup I have. As you can see, 3M. So I have a couple of these left. I think I have one liner left. That's what we're going to compare it to. I was going to upgrade to the 2.0 system, which basically you need to change this guy, that fitting on your spray gun, which isn't horribly expensive. But the price difference between, even if you can find it, the old 1.0 PPS from 3M and the paint system from Harbor Freight is huge. Let's take a look at it, and at the end we're going to do the raffle for the electric ratchet. I got all the comments in through Friday. We're just going to go onto the computer. I'm going to do it old school. I'm not going to screen capture that. I'm just going to set the camera up and let it rip. So make sure you hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave us a comment, and let's get into this. Alright, so first off we have the box for the universal, they call it the Spectrum Universal Paint System. Okay, one box is the starter kit and the other box is the refill kit. The refill kit are just liners and caps. No cup, just liners and caps. The starter kit comes with liners, caps. It gives you 5 storage lids, 5 caps, the locking collar, the cup, and the liners, 5 liners. Now on the box it states it's compatible with these adapters. Okay, and on there it does say the 3M PPS. It is not compatible with the Series 2 or 2.0 3M PPS. So let's take a look at the differences between the two. So opening up the box, I'm not going to open up the refill box. I mean, there's a picture. I already went through it. This is what you get. It's the same caps and liners and that are in here. So you do get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lids, and it's nicely packed. It is pretty well packed. And here's the cups, and there's the liner. Let's get all this out on the table and take a look. So the gun we're using is my gun, which is an Iwata Air Gunsa Impact. Not the best gun, but this is the gun I painted our Mark III 1987 Super Red Metallic Brown. I'll put a picture of there so if you don't remember what that looked like. We sold that guy. And we also painted our IS-300, 2004 IS-300 with this. It's a 1.3 tip, so we'll be using that guy as the base. Now we're not going to put any paint through it. I'm just going to put lacquer thinner through it. The gun hasn't been used in a while. It's going to work. It just, I haven't used it since we painted the IS. But the lacquer thinner, if it doesn't leak lacquer thinner, it ain't going to leak paint. So anyways, let's get to it. All right. So we got our, counting 5 cups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cups. I'm sorry, 5 liners, I apologize, and a piece of cardboard. A cup, the locking collar, cardboard's haunting me, and the 5 lids. Now the lids come with these little plugs on them, like inserted into them. They also have the mesh on the bottom here, which is like the filter mesh. I don't really know what the microns are on this. It doesn't have any type of instructions on here in regards to what the micron mesh is on there. Now I know that the ones I've always used with the 3M are the 125 micron. I'll pull that out in a second. I'm just looking through the box real quick. Yeah, and it doesn't say anything about the filter, so that's I guess that's a negative because you really don't know what the filtration is on. These are 125 micron, so just looking at the mesh between the two, and it's going to be hard to pick up on camera. The one on my left hand with the red tab is a 3M, and the other one is the Harbor Freight. This one's a 125. I know this one seems a lot finer mesh, so I'm assuming it's a 200 mesh or 200 micron mesh. But again, there's no way to confirm that, and if I do, I'll put it in the comments section if I figure it out before I upload the video. The edges of these caps, the lids, you can automatically tell the 3M one is thicker. It's not as flexible. This one flexes a lot easier, but it's still pretty sturdy. They both are designed to match up to the collar on the adapter of the again PPS 1.0. So diameter wise, just going, and we're doing such a rudimentary test, right? But it looks like they're very close, although we're going to compare it to each cup right now. So again, the one with the red cap is the 3M one. Let's see how it fits. So we're going to take a liner. This is the liner that came with the Harbor Freight, and just fitting this on there fits nice and snug. It pops up because there's it's air, you know, that happens on the 3M one too. And yeah, I mean, it gets on there really nice, and we'll put the cap on so we don't mix them up. And then this locks in really well. So far they work the same. You know, we're gonna leave that liner in there. Now let's see, does this lid fit the PPS cup and liner? And I'll tell you right now, it does fit in there, but it's very loose. I don't know, you know, you can see that. It just slides right on. So the diameter, just based on that, the diameter of the lid is going to be a little bit narrower than the diameter of the 3M. So vice versa. Okay, this is the 3M cup with the 3M lid. See, there's the difference. Okay, now if we will the 3M lid fit on the Harbor Freight? And it's very tight, very, very tight. You can see there it's not on all the way. It gets to the first one. Again, the diameter is different. You might be able to slide this on and force it on like I'm doing, but if you got paint in there, that's gonna be a mess. So let's just say no, it doesn't. So the downside is you can't buy the Harbor Freight Spectrum cups by themselves, at least not yet. And you only get one cup. Now, for a DIY guy, yeah, that'll work, one cup. But I have a few of these, and sometimes you want to fill 2 or 3 and have the paint ready. If you're doing a whole car, these are 20-ounce cups. You know, 20 ounces isn't going to spray a whole car, a whole small car. We'll just use the, you know, the Lexus as the example. I needed 3 cups to cover the whole car, or under 3 cups, about 2.5. But that's 60 ounces. So if I'm filling 1 by 1, that can take some time. If I have 3 of these hard cups and I can pre-fill and mix my 3 cups that I'm going to need, then I can just literally, when I'm done with one, disconnect, plug the other one in, and keep going. Literally less than a minute. So I hope that Harbor Freight is able to sell these cups by themselves, because as of right now, you know, if I swap, the liner does fit the 3M, but again, the cap, but look at this, we figured something out. If I put the Harbor Freight liner, this is the liner for the 3M, into the 3M cup, that fits just right. So what we're going to do is we're going to run a test, 3M liner and Harbor Freight liner. Okay, so give me a second, I'm gonna grab a Sharpie. Alright, so we're just gonna write on here, this is the liner for the 3M. So I'm just gonna write 3M on there. Okay, the good old Sharpie. And this is a liner for Harbor Freight. So we're gonna do that. Now just I'm not getting paid to do this by 3M or Harbor Freight. This is something we use when we're trying to do our own work. And I like using this PPS type of system. All right, so what did we find out? With the 3M liner, the Harbor Freight cap is loose. Okay? With the Harbor Freight liner in the 3M cup, the Harbor Freight cap fits as needed. Okay? Now, we're going to return that to that and that to that. This is the Harbor Freight collar. So that fits nicely on the Harbor Freight cup. The Harbor Freight collar also fits snug on the 3M cup. So the 3M cap, the collar fits on the 3M cup, obviously, and it fits on, if I can do it right, it fits on that. So okay, so basically, per what we know now, this is the Harbor Freight, this is 3M. If you have extra PPS 3M cups, the Harbor Freight liners will fit with the caps, with the Harbor Freight caps. The only other difference I notice between these two liners is the Harbor Freight one is a clear finish. I don't know, you can tell. You can see through it a little more. It's also thinner, okay? The Harbor Freight one is a little thinner. Obviously different consistency, but in the end we'll see if they both work, because that's what we're trying to do. Now I'm going to take these out really quick. The last comparison is the cup itself. We're going to move these lids out of the way. The cup for the 3M has a little sleeve that fits in here that allows you to have your mixing ratios 1:1, 2:1, 3:1, etc. Okay? This one is printed onto the outside for the Harbor Freight. It's printed on the outside of the cup itself. Now, how accurate is it? So we'll compare how accurate this is, and we'll just assume, you know, we're not going 5-10 ounces. We're going mixtures. So we have to assume that they're accurate. I mean, the cups for Harbor Freight have 2:1, 3:1, 4:1, 5:1, 6 and 7:1 mix ratios printed on them. They look like they're printed straight. I mean, if you put this liner for the 3M one in crooked, you would be off a little bit. You could also mix it outside the cup. I've always mixed it in the cup with this liner in it, with this sleeve in it, I'm sorry, and the liner inside the cup as such. Just comparing, we'll compare the 2:1 ratios here, and 2:1, I mean, it looks the same. I think they'll be all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some thinner in here. We're obviously don't need a pre-mix thinner. I'm just going to fill it about halfway. So just to be fair, I don't want to waste too much thinner, right? I'm going to put 10 ounces in on each cup. We're going to go to 10 ounces, 10, and 10 on each cup. All right, so the first things first, we have our gun set to about 25 PSI, okay? I have the jet all the way open. So what I do is I pull the trigger all the way in, tighten that, and I just blew the cups off until you feel tension on the trigger. Jet's open, or full pressure. Sorry, pressure's all the way, all available pressure's there, and then we're gonna play with the jet once we get it on. We're gonna do the 3M cup first, and okay, as expected, the 3M cap is gonna fit all the way on, and we're gonna flip it over. It's gonna feed into the gun. Nothing's dripping. You can see it kind of getting down. we're going to spray this a little. Open that up, push on the bottom. It takes all the air out and moves the fluid over. There we go. You see that? So, as you can see, it's spraying. All right? Let's move over to the board and we're going to put a piece of tape down and we're going to do one side of 3M and one side with the Harbor Freight. That's our board, 3M Harbor Freight. As you can see, the Harbor Freight cup is not on. That's still there. It's the 3M cup that I have on the gun. All right, 3M is not leaking. Let's go spray. All right, 3M PPS right there. We're gonna spray it. We're gonna close the fan all the way. See? We're gonna open the fan all the way. All right, so you can see it works as expected, but it is 3M. Compressor just started, and while we're doing that, we're gonna set up to switch the gun. You can see the wet mark there from the 3M. Works as expected. We have experience with that. We knew it was gonna work. Still dry over there. Wet, dry. Let's get the Harbor Freight tested on. So we're gonna turn this upside down. And we're just going to the neutral position on the adapter. Let it go. You're gonna get a little drippage from, obviously, because you had some in there. And then as we're gonna let that sit, there's still some fluid in there, still some paint thinner in there. We'll pour that back in the can when we're done. We're gonna take the cap off. We're gonna double check. Put that cap on there lightly. That's on there. This is just for the sake of consistency. I'm not trying to make you dizzy, but there's the Harbor Freight that we Sharpied on. Cap on, cap off, put off to the side. Gun upside down. Okay, fits all the way to the bottom. Rotates and locks. It's not spilling. Let's put it upside down and get it, yeah, as I said, there we go. Once you get fluid coming out of there with it upside down, you know you got it all the way right. It's shooting air, or shooting thinner. Let's go shoot. All right, so we got the Harbor Freight. Settings haven't been changed on the gun. Still shooting at 25. Nice, consistent, just like the other one. Closing the jet. Opening the jet. All the way. This is working very nicely. The bag is collapsing, okay? So the bag is collapsing, that means it's putting all the fluid in. I have 0 leaks coming out of here with the thinner. Okay. Let me get a bigger fan out of this. The biggest fan the Air Gunsa likes to give. Unfortunately, it's not a very big fan. But yeah. It's working nicely. And still no leak. There, it's wet there, where we sprayed. It's already dried off on this side, but as you can see, so my assessment, actually let's do the final, which is take this off and make sure it comes off as advertised. Unlocks just like the PPS, comes off just as nice. Just spraying excess thinner out of it. Bag collapsed and worked. Bag collapsed and worked. I paid just under $32 with tax for the starter kit. They gave me the cup and the collar and the refills, and I had 30 refills plus 5. I got a total of 35 liners, 35 lids, 35 caps 1 cup for just under $32. The 3M starter kit, which gives you, I believe, 6 liners, 1 cup, the caps, and the lids, is, you might find it for $45. I think they tested out great. For the price, they can't go wrong. I literally bought the last 2 boxes at my local Harbor Freight in the city of New Braunfels. I'm sure they'll restock them. You can order them online as well. I got a feeling these are going to be a popular item, especially with the DIY home garage dudes and gals, that are doing this at home or in their low volume small shop helping out friends, or it's a good thing. I highly suggest, and I encourage everybody to do this. Dispose of the liners appropriately. It's paint, it's toxic, don't throw them in your trash can. Every county, at least in our area, has a paint disposal day, time, and it's free, and you can just throw away old house paint, old stain, old car paint. Do that. Hey, we all got to live here. Anyhow, other than that, this is a good product. I love it. My $32 are well spent. Let's get to that darn raffle. Alright, y'all, here's the video from last week. We're going to choose our electric ratchet winner. We're copying the URL. Doing this old school. We don't want to capture the video. That would be too easy, right? Let's go to commentpicker.com. We're going to insert our URL. We're going to filter out duplicates. We're going to insert the comments. So it's going to filter by the comment. I want the RMJ Ratchet. We didn't have too many participants, but we had enough. We had 13. Let's go down here and let's choose our winner. And Eric Heitritter. Thank you very much for participating in the raffle. Thank you very much for following our channel, and I know you have commented in the past, so thank you very much for giving us info and feedback, giving us likes and all that good stuff. And I thank everybody for participating. We're going to choose a second one if Eric doesn't do it, and I will put it on video and post it up as a small video. But yeah, if Eric doesn't get back to us within 48 hours, we'll choose a second winner. But for today, it's Eric, and I thank you all again for helping out, participating. We got another review coming up for two foam cannons. We'll be raffling off one of them. Stay tuned for that. Thank you very much. Have a great week. God bless.